when you let us know your name, please, and what affiliations that you got. Thank you.
Yes, hi, my name is Mikhail Camille. I am a political strategist and operating in a technologist. I've worked for the President of the USA since 08, Baltimore, Mayor, LA, Garcetti. And we're currently building a next generation technology campus in South LA. I have a few questions and then I have a few suggestions. That's okay? Yes. In terms of infrastructure, high tech, what are your plans moving in that direction? First question.
You want, why don't you, how many questions you have so we can
I have
give,
I have three.
okay, why don't you
In terms of mini fabs, or let's just say fabrications, facilities, semiconductor facilities, what plans do you have with regard to building some of those? And then in terms of collaborating with the United States with regard to possibly the Select USA program and maybe even the fact of the Advanced Manufacturing Partnership 2.0 that the President just proposed last September. Is there anything on your radar regarding that?
Thank you. That was great questions. Ibu, maybe you want to.
Yeah, I will start and then Mahendra can also complement it or add to it. On the infrastructure, as you could see from the numbers that I showed, the fixed line penetration is still low, and broadband, the size of the broadband and the speed is still also much lower than many other countries. So the plan is to build a stronger backbone with a faster broadband and so on. And there already has been plans, including Palapa Ring, but the tender was already done, but at the moment not the investor interest is not quite there yet, but maybe Mahendra can explain a bit more about why that is the case. But we definitely need to improve the backbone and the broadband infrastructure, because otherwise we really, from the creative economy perspective, creative industry perspective, it will really limit our opportunities to grow if that physical infrastructure doesn't get built. On the semiconductor fabrication and so on, basically we are quite different from Malaysia or Thailand. Basically, partly historical in the 80s and 90s when a lot of the semiconductor firms were relocating from the US to these countries. Indonesia didn't get that part of the value chain. We got more the electronics and consumer electronics. And so it's not very well developed, but recently there have been some interest. And again, Mahendra, as Board of Investment, he may know better than me where that interest is going. But that is actually one of the big questions, because we do have a large market. And a lot of other components are coming maybe from China and other countries, like for the hand phones and for the laptops. Collaboration is it the program? It's a new program, is it? This collaboration USA, Select USA, is it to buy US products or to make US products abroad and then it comes in?
It's more of a collaboration, marketing, production.
Okay, maybe you can talk to that. At the moment, what we are trying to do is to have a number of cooperation. Say on animation, there's already some co-production schemes. In film, also a few on board for the co-production. So it's mainly private to private. Government just facilitate, but a lot of the collaboration seems to be private to private. I'm just trying to think if there's any one that the government facilitated, but at the moment I can't really think of any.
Thank you. Thank thank you for the question. First, while Indonesia would like to continue building the nationwide broadband network that we call Palapa Ring that would unite the whole country, but we also understand the physical challenges in doing so. Having said that, and while we continue with the process, we also have started understanding how more standalone option or solution could also complement to the nationwide connectivity. We now have several sites that can be classified as a pilot for smart area, if not yet smart town or cities. So we have been able in doing that, and I think there are many new initiatives at the local level, at the very cities and even sub-cities level, where you can see local governments have ingenious creativity in bringing the infrastructure to the people. And this has been now rewarded with many more business activities as well as social education improvement. I think governments and authorities understand the importance of this, and while of course the nationwide connectivity is the responsibility of the national government, but local governments within their own program, but also working with the national government and the business parties can or have provided some solutions for this area. I think this is something we would like to encourage even further. If there is any interest, and I suppose my guess about your last point or question about potential collaboration, this is what I think is more doable to be promoted at the public-private partnership collaboration at the more practical level, at the sub-city or specific area solution. I really would like to do that, and I think what we are also trying to do is to identify champions within local governments and local authorities that put high-tech and IT and connectivity as top of their priority. This is very practical suggestion, because the outcome can be easily seen in the quality of the students' awareness and knowledge, and then not to mention potential business and commercial reward. On the industry, later on, my colleague DG Budi Darmadi will explore to you in more detail the activities that we are doing together with the investors and the business associations. There are now several industries or companies investing in cell phones as well as smartphones manufacturing, and we hope likewise in the automotive sector, in the many of the consumer sectors, even in the more upstream sector, Indonesia's market have become such a big market that would put the economies of scale and the economic rationale of having the manufacturing base also located in Indonesia. Because why we did not get the semiconductor industries in the past is, among others, at that time, the production base was merely decided by the logistical costs as well as possibly the particular site efficiency or cost effectiveness. But this time, we learn from other industries, market does matter. Market size does matter. And Indonesia can do a lot about that, and we have learned from many industries, like, again, the automotive sector. 10 years ago, Indonesia was not that attractive for production base, because we only had 200,000 car market. Now we have 1.3 million car market, and all the big, well, mostly Japanese, but also European and one or two American brands already have their manufacturing sites. So that will also work with other industries, including this one. But what we have to do is not merely focusing on the manufacturing side. We really have to focus on the content side, content industry, because this is the real value for the people. And then it's not only because we have seen one of the top 4 Facebook account in the world, and the busiest tweets city in the world is Jakarta, basically. And the number 6 is Bandung, another Indonesian city. So we are not only familiar with IT products, but we are really fanatic users of that. So in that sense, the potentials for the content, again, something we need to identify and elaborate potential collaboration. And this is where not only we are a large market for these products and services, but I believe that Indonesians and its skilled workers, skilled young people in particular, can also contribute to the global solution of many industries. So this is again something I would like to appeal to you as potential collaboration.
Can I respond to that? The high-tech market is the fastest growing economy in America. Right now we're moving from what's considered IPv4, which is, of course, you mentioned Facebook, etc., to IPv6, which will introduce something called the Internet of Things, which is a subdivision of what's something called ubiquitous computing. Every object or every device that's visible to the naked eye will have, let's say, an IP address on the internet, but not the internet as we know it. So ubiquitous computing essentially is the next wave of computing, which will embed computing in objects anywhere, any form, anytime, in an anticipatory, quiet, pervasive, unobtrusive, very connected way. This is the future. What I would suggest that you do is sort of begin to look in the areas of ubiquitous, pervasive computing. Instead of focusing more on speed in terms of broadband, I would focus more on mesh networks. I would definitely look into mesh networks. I would also look at something that's coming, and that's more of the, in terms of the connectivity, a lot of the apps that you're talking about, most of them will be serverless. Routers will be removed from the pipeline, so there's going to be a peer-to-peer communication between devices as opposed to devices having to go to one location and then back to someone else's phone in another location. So you have a pretty large community of people, and phone phones that are built to connect peer-to-peer without having to go through, in our case, we may have to go to an AT&T or a Sprint. They can go directly to the person that you communicate. And also, I would suggest looking at possibly building high-tech or next-generation campuses. That's really important in terms of developing, you mentioned design, or let's just say developing your indigenous talent. You know, tech campuses that are sort of collaborating with, let's just say, campuses here in the States can be helpful in terms of really building your incubators or your accelerators, as you had mentioned earlier. Also, I would look at, in terms of building your infrastructure, ubiquitous computing is the path, but you mentioned smart city. If you move in the direction of smart cities, you're moving sort of in a direction of something that's obsolete. You know, cities are more intuitive now. You know, so you want to make sure you don't fall into a trap of buying old, obsolete, so-called smart, sustainable, connected technology, thinking you're getting something that's on par with the rest of the world, and you're getting something that's a little dated, a little obsolete. So focus more on next generation technology and build more ubiquitous cities. China's already looking at it. South Korea's already looking at it. India's already looking at it. So you want to make sure that you're moving ahead of the curve. Another thing I would look at is EB5 partnerships in terms of investments, you know, with local business owners that's looking to start up, you know, here, and then sort of, you know, just, you know, send your workforce here to sort of get into the ebb and flow of how things are done, and then send it back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sir, I think listening to you, I don't pretend I understand. My sense is that you talk about how to even further democratize the virtual world. And as I said, creativity and democracy are two best ingredients in Indonesia, so I thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right, let's see two more. Well, you know, yeah, would you?
Yeah, my name is Bruce. Actually, I think there's a new stuff is just coming right now. They call hologram movie. So we can have virtually people show up here, and they can. Right now, I try to bring this company. We looking for Indonesia to have partner for license. This hologram movie is very interesting. Currently in India, they have election for the Prime Minister. So they have 80 hologram everywhere. So the Prime Minister show up 80 places. And he's in the one place, and they can interact with people. So I think there's a very good future in the movie industry right now. We don't have it in Indonesia, and I plan to bring that one.
We don't have the right selection yet, but we will have it. We are also in the presidential election currently. So.
Yeah.
Please, one more. Yeah.
Thank you very much. My name is Jim Polpatras from Disney, and I wanted to follow up on the questions regarding talent. Can you talk a little bit about the programs that the government is supporting in the country, either with universities or other school levels, for talent development across the creative industries and technology?
Yeah, we since we started thinking about creative industries, I guess about around 2006, 2007, obviously with the Ministry of Education, we've tried to focus on certain types of talent that we think should be developed in Indonesia, including IT skills and animation, for instance. There's been quite a focus on even vocational high schools that teach focus on animation as well as at the university level. And that will be the direction forward. And I think the other exciting area is e-books. Is a government requirement to have electronic books, digital books, sorry, for all high school students, for all students. Yeah? I think Adrian mentioned the number. Is it 55 million? 50 million students, and the allocation of the budget is $200. Did you say? $200 per student to acquire. That's how much the Ministry of Education is allocating its budget for the development of e-learning, e-books, and that is a huge opportunity again. And a lot of this is actually being supplied locally, but I think a lot of we'd like to do a lot of learning as to how we can develop educational materials. And in a country like Indonesia, as our previous questioner was saying, it's actually very ideal to have e-learning. Given the spread of the islands, and it would really mean you can reach the remote areas much better. But I think on the artistic side, actually we are quite strong. I think where we are lacking is more the use of technology, the combination of the creativity and the technology, and the use of the technology, the most recent technology, to be able to really keep up with the way creative talent can work well. We have had lots of debates about brain drain, our talent pool going to Singapore or going to Malaysia, because Singapore and Malaysia are maybe a bit more ahead of us in terms of giving facilities to creative industries and support. But in my opinion, they will learn, and hopefully they come back, and then they will be. Some of them have actually done that. They go away and they learn in Hollywood, they learn elsewhere in Korea, and then they come back and they start their own companies. And it's not really a bad thing, necessarily a bad thing to learn abroad. I think we should be, hopefully, with the help of the Board of Investment, be a bit more open to having foreign talent come and help to develop our local talent and mentoring and so on. And I actually like our gentleman's suggestion about our companies or our startups coming here and learning and maybe being located in one of the incubators in Silicon Valley to learn and be mentored here and learn to network here. I think there's a lot of learning that we need to do, and the more collaboration that we have, and we think the US obviously is a country which is at the frontier. So this is actually one of the main reasons for our visit here.
Let me say this. First of all, I understand that Indonesia is the only country in the world that has the constitution stipulating that 20% of the annual budget has to go to education. So again, talking about potential elements or ingredients, I think we have everything. Now it's a matter of how to translate that into more effectiveness. But at least in terms of priorities, commitments, it's very clear. It's stipulated as a compulsory by the Constitution. But this is my second point. Don't expect the government knows everything, or knows even better than many of you who are in the business day in, day out. So if I could encourage you to come up with ideas and start to build collaborations among the Indonesian entities and the American entities, or just between the two sides, and then try to come up with pilots and potential models of collaboration. Then these things would be more practical. And again, don't focus too much. It's going to be adopted for 250 million. We need to focus on what is more critical and urgent, but practical at the same time and doable. And then things can be, of course, magnified in due course. Please, if there is any solution and joint collaboration that you can do as soon as possible, and looking from the two sides, building the best synergy of those sites, I think that would be more encouraging for us. Thank you.
I just wanted to mention one more thing. I think we have tried in the past because, you know, if you're a creative person, you want to be in a nice place and work in a nice place. So Bali and Batam are two places where we have seen, in Bali they had the cyber Bali camp, is that called? Yeah, which was intended, you know, to have people, to attract creative talent to go there, including foreigners. And recently there's been one more idea coming out in Bali also. They want to create a creative campus, which of course we are very fully supportive of. And so these are ideas that I think would be good to support. And I was just talking to the finance minister the other day, and you know, talking how do we increase productivity, how do we increase the talent pool, and he was saying that that the tax incentive that we can give, rather than picking winners or picking, okay, let's support sector A, even within the creative industries, it's better to give tax incentive for training or for R&D. For talent, you know, so I think that's a good way to facilitate, rather than giving a subsidy to a sector, because you don't know, governments are bad at picking winners, as you were saying. So it's better to facilitate and give tax incentive to the activity that will create the talent.
Thank you very much, Ibu Mari and Pak Mahendra. We'll give them a big applause.